Hey everyone, Sharon here from I Restore Stuff, ready for another Essential Stencil live. I just thought I'd give you a sneak peek of something in my workshop today, just while we're waiting for other people to get online. But I wanted to show you this Noah's Ark that my father-in-law has been making, these little Noah's Ark toy sets. They're wooden, carved out of wood. So I just thought I'd show you that before we do our quick live. So let me just flip the camera around, because we finished one. So here you go. Is that adorable or what? Now I've got the camera kind of flipped, so it's looking a little bit awkward here, but isn't that the cutest? So there's the little ark, and then we've got the animals all 2x2, and my daughter's had so much fun painting them. So is that adorable? Just thought I'd show you that really quickly before we start. So how are you all today? Ready for another DIY live? I'm just going to hook my camera back up here onto the tripod. Sorry guys, but let me know where you're tuning in from as I hook myself all up together again. Got a few of you jumped on, and I'll just check the computer here because I'm not seeing comments on the phone as usual. So I hope you like that. That was a bit of fun. A little peek into some of the things going on in my workshop today. All right, let me expand my screen so I can see. There you are. Oh, it's so weird when I can't see you all on the phone. I'm like, speak to me, people. Are you there? Yes, from Florida. Hi, Laura. Hi, Janine. Hi, Carla. Debbie. Yeah, Debbie looking like I'm dealing with the sun again today. It's funny because it's all good, and then as soon as I go live, it must be just this time of day. And I look around every week and say, which way is it going to go? I should have learned by now. Anyway, we're going to be working down here, so hopefully it's all good. But if you saw my picture earlier, I posted something up on my I Restore Stuff page. You can follow me over there. I'm from Australia, if you couldn't tell by the accent. Way over here, down under. And I threw a picture up on my page that you may have seen that I included these cute vases. Now I just picked these up at a thrift store, charity op shop, and they're huge vases, but I like those kind of, this one looks almost concrete, cement colour, and this one's glass, but it has that same kind of concrete look. Anyway, thought I'd do something fun with those today, but I'll show you how I'm going to be using what I'm using today from Essential Stencils a little bit later. So we'll put it all together, it'll all make sense in the end. So working on today using some of the mini wood tag sets. Now, any of the items that I'm showing you from Essential Stencil, the links are in the description of the live. And yep, Karen, sorry, you must have allergies. She's saying, I hear you clearing your throat a lot. I do too. Yeah, that's what it is. A little bit of a runny nose. It's actually going into winter here now, so the cool air in the mornings can sometimes get to me. So we've got the mini, it's called on the, I think, premium pine wood tags. So they're the little mini tag sets. They go with the stencils that are the mini tag sets. So that's them there. You get 3 in a pack. So I've painted some of these already to prep them for today. So I've done a blue one and I've done a white one, but they actually come just plain wood so that you can do your own thing with them. Let me pop you down here so you can kind of see what I'm working on. And so there's those. Now don't forget to use my code to get 10% off everything in the Essential Stencil shop today. I just showed you a couple of other mini tag sets, but the ones we're going to be working on today are these patriotic ones. They're 4th of July tags is the name that's on the label, so that's those there. And we're going to look at some fun decorations for sort of table centerpiece kind of ideas that you can use for your 4th of July decorating. Now, of course, we don't have Independence Day over here because we're not America. I'm in Australia, but I am married to an American. So we do like to have a little fun on 4th of July and all of the things. So here are some of the other stencils that you can do. And for this table centerpiece idea, you could use these numbers. We've got the Buzzy Bee ones. If you just search mini tag on Essential Stencil's site and use my code I Restore Stuff for your 10%, you can have a look at all the different mini tag sets that they do have. They'll all come up in that search. So this one is the 4th of July tags, and you've got the little truck with the fireworks in the back. So we're going to do that one today. We've got I'll use the black background. These cardboards that come in with the stencil sets are really great to use also. I actually use the tags themselves to cut off the corners and punch a hole in the top, and you can then use that as a gift tag or a label or something like that as well. So that's a lot of fun. Carla says, thanks for showing us an American decor from an Aussie. Yep, that's what it is. All right, and we've got some wonderful stars. There we go. So they are really fun tag sets. There's so many different tag sets. Like I said before, just use the search bar at Essential Stencil and search mini tags, and you'll find all of the different tag sets that are available. Here's just another couple of them. All right, so what will I start with today, guys? All right, so for our decor, let's start with something super easy. Now, they do have some ideas here on the packaging, so you can use those, or you can use some other fun ideas also. Might go with something really simple to start with, and let's just do some stars right here. And so we'll do white stars on the blue background. Now I'm just using Fusion Mineral Paint, which is a furniture paint, because what I do is I paint furniture. That's my jam. So I'm going to use my round brush, and I've just put a rubber band around the end of my furniture painting brush to make the bristles nice and tight. So you could do that with any brush if you don't have stencil brushes. That's what I use, because I just like that they're nice and soft. All right, dipping my paintbrush just into a little bit of, and Fusion Mineral Paint is just an acrylic-based paint, water-based paint. So you can use whatever you would like on your stencils. I'm just going to use my hand to hold it down because it's not that big, and it should be quite a quick sort of little process. Now I'm offloading the brush onto the paper so that I've hardly got any paint on the brush, because I like to use less paint. Less is best, because you don't want that bleed through coming underneath your stencil, especially these little tiny ones. And I'm just using a swirly motion to get my stars on. And because I'm using less paint, you may find that you might need another coat, or you may be just happy with the less full coverage. It's kind of like a antique vintagey look, I suppose, if you're using less. Now look how much I had on my brush, hardly anything. And yet it's covered all that space without having to. I'm now finding in just this little spot here that it's getting a little bit less, so I will dip once more, being very careful to not let my stencil move, even though I took my hand off it, popping it straight down there. Okay, and once again just swirling around. Now the reason that the paint doesn't go underneath the stencil when I'm swirling is because I've hardly got anything on the brush. So just remember, less is more. Always practice. You can always practice on a piece of paper before you start stenciling. Oh, thank you guys for sprinkling and sharing this video. I forgot to do that. I'm going to do that right now. Just hit the little share button. And you know what? You can do that really quickly, and it brings you straight back to the live, so you don't even have to worry about missing anything. I'm going to share it with my page, I Restore Stuff, so that all my people can see. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, she says, I make it look so easy. I have been stenciling for a very long time, so I should have a bit of an idea now. But look at that. Isn't that cute? Just the most simple little tag decor. You know that you could also make these double-sided, and I could paint the back and do a different design on the back. So then you could flip it and change it for different seasons. Hey? Isn't that a good idea? So I've noticed I've just got a little bit of, oh no, it's not too wet, paint on the side. But there's one already done. Now for my next one, I'm going to just, well, let's use the white, shall we? Maybe I'll just do the plain wood one first. There we go. I'm going to do a USA sign, a USA stencil. Now again, these mini tags, you'll find the link for that in the description of the live. right there at the top. Yes, Fran's saying 2 light coats are better than 1 heavy coat. Correct. Less is best. Okay, so thinking about colours here, we've got the stripes. Remember, I'm an Aussie, so don't blame me if I get this wrong. Stripes are red, right? Red and white stripes for the flag, and then the stars, white stars against a blue background. I'm not sure how we'll do that blue background yet, but I have an idea. I've got my painter's tape here ready. So this time I might actually tape down the stencil because I just don't want it shifting around as I'm doing this. So we just have to plop a piece on the end, wrap it around the wood tag. These mini wood tags are really great. Hi Deb. Deb from Western Iowa. Good to see you too. Robin says she's got the vertical patriotic God Bless America and Let Freedom Ring and can't wait to get more. Oh guys, let me show you too. If you're in the Stencil of the Month Club, you'll be receiving the June Stencil of the Month, which is I'll show you. I'm sure they've showed this already. Maybe they have. Did Amanda do something on this week maybe? Here we go. Here's the Stencil of the Month Club set, guys. So if you haven't joined the Stencil of the Month Club, here are the fun stencils you can make from this. America the Beautiful, 4th of July with fireworks, Liberty and Justice for All, Land That I Love. So they are great, a great set there. And the add-on for this month, look at that, a nice huge United States of America plus a big star that you could use not just for 4th of July, you could use that for Christmas, you could use it for all sorts of things. Imagine like a little night scene on a wall in a kid's room or something like that using that star. So that is in the Stencil of the Month Club, and you do get $5 off your first month if you haven't joined by using my code IRestore-Stuff. Thought I would mention that here too. All right, I've taped down the stencil. Now I want to put some more tape. Let me just pop the lid on my paint. I want to put some more tape where I'm not going to do the red stripes, and so that will be right here where the stars start. It's a little bit tricky, but we'll get there. Wow, okay, yep, I'm good. I think we're good. All right, so I'm using Fort York Red, which is a fusion mineral paint colour. It's a nice bright red. And once again, using a little stencil brush. I'm just going to dip it in the lid because really, look how much I used there. And I even feel like I've got too much on my brush there, so I'm going to wipe that off, being careful not to flick the paint everywhere. And then before I go on here, remember, offload, offload. So I'm offloading here to make sure I've got hardly any on the brush. All right, now I'm going to do that little swirling motion again, right here. And remember, I'm just using this on plain wood background, so then you can seal it at the end and you've got that nice wood grain. Okay, so I didn't put much on my brush, so I am starting to run out, but what did we say? Less is best, because you don't want to get that bleeding underneath. All right. Just a little swirling motion. Again, offloading as much as you can before you go swirling it on there. Yeah, Karen's saying, an Aussie doing 4th of July decor. You betcha. We love American celebrations in our house. My husband's American, and my father-in-law, who lives over here, he's American. So we do try and do something on Thanksgiving and 4th of July and your holiday type of events. So there's a bit of fun. I'll be able to use this to decorate my home for 4th of July. All right, so we've got the red there. Before I lift that up, I'm going to remove the tape to work on the stars. So here are the stars, and we'll do those white. And then I've got another idea. So what I'm going to have to do is, I could use this same tape, couldn't I? So you can see there, I had taped off this area. Now I'm going to tape. It's ringing. I hope you still got that. All right, so just along here is where I'm going to tape. The paint is actually dry. And it dries very quickly because I've hardly used any on my brush. So we're going to just tape along here. I should have just used a longer piece of tape right there. A bit tricky. There we go. Yes, Elizabeth, exactly, yeah. So I was saying that before, that you can use both sides of your pieces. So I've got my stars here, I could use this other side and do a completely different season. Or you could, you know, use the little mini tag numbers or something like that. So, yep. Okay. White. White is what we need, isn't it, guys? Where did I put? Here we go. White, and I've got my white brush. So while your brush is waiting, so that it doesn't dry out the bristles, make sure that you, if I'm going to use the red again, which I will for my little truck stencil that I'll be doing next. Look at that little truck with the fireworks in the back. Always use a plastic bag. To just pop your brush in, or you could use a bit of wrap to wrap around the bristles, just so that it doesn't dry out while you're doing the other colours. So we do that, pop it aside. And I've got my white right here for the stars. And I don't have very much in the lid, so I'm going to dunk it in here again, wipe off the edge. There you go. Essential Stencil has just added the link there, but it's also in the description of the live. So what I'm going to do is just go over this. We've got the little lines there as well. So we've got the stars, but I want to do something with those lines in blue. But that's okay, because we can go over the white with blue. So it's not going to matter at all. And I will have to wait until this dries a bit, so I might work on another stencil while that dries. And we'll get to pick at it after. Okay, I think I've got all the white there. We're good with that. Step that aside. I've got this has been previously painted with white. Now I've only got one coat of the white here, so you can see that it's a little bit translucent, but I don't mind that look. For this purpose, I am going to go with it. And I just used a bit of casement white. It's one of the Fusion mineral paint colours. I'm going to place my truck right here. April asked what kind of paint I use. So yeah, it's Fusion mineral paint, which I use for furniture painting. But you can use it on fabric, on anything, so it's pretty cool. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so I've taped that down. Just making sure you can see with the sun shining in there. All right, what colour are we going to do our truck? Usually it's red, so why don't we just go with that, with the that red brush that I was just using a minute ago. And remembering to tape off where I don't want the red, which is the fireworks sitting there in the back of the truck. And there's a little bit right here. It's a little bit tricky to try and tape all the little details here. Just get that really close on the straight edge of the stencil. Righty-ho. Using the lid to just dab my brush in again and offloading as much as I can. Now I may get a bit of red on the tyres. I want to do them black in a minute, so we'll just go with it for now. And you can always do over the red with black, because that'll cover pretty well anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about that being there. Oop, nearly went over the edge. Yes, so you guys can tell me what colour I should add to the fireworks. Actually, I didn't get much more than red, white and blue out of my stash. Okay, a little bit more, and offloading the brush as much as I can. Remember, I've got these huge, gigantic vases here that I'll show you what I'm going to do with my mini tags in a minute. Yeah, the Essential Stencil brushes will be back around about August. I think someone just mentioned that. Someone asked again what paint I'm using. I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint, which is a furniture paint that I use for doing furniture. All right, so there's my truck, and you can see it's kind of, it's not like totally red, 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 and I've allowed a little bit of that. It's kind of a rustic look truck. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, so if I want to, I can do those tyres black, but what I think I'm going to do is use a black Sharpie or a marker. Did anyone catch Melissa's live? Was that yesterday? And she was using markers and sidewalk chalk. You've got to catch that. Go and check out her live later on. So I'm going to lift up here. So yeah, I liked that idea. So what I'm going to do is get some black Sharpie and just, sorry, that light again, that sunshine, and use that to just colour in the tyres. All right, I've got my fireworks. Guys, what are we going to do for the fireworks here? I'm trying to read your comments. Oh, don't forget, guys, we are going to pick some winners for some Essential Stencils at the end of the live. We'll do that, so stay tuned. We'll be choosing 3 winners, and you'll get to email Essential Stencil with your details, and they'll send you out a prize. It's always a lot of fun sticking around to see who wins. All right, some suggestions for colours for our fireworks: green, purple, yellow, goldish. I wish I'd got more colours out of my repertoire now. Let me just see if I can reach them. Hang on a second, guys. Reach the colours over here. Green, someone said green-ish. Let's see if that'll work. And a goldy colour. Oh, goodness. Got yellow. That might do. So we've got green, gold. Green and gold are actually Aussie colours, so I could add some Aussie in there, right? We use the green and gold for our, competitive sports, Olympics, and, well, there's our yellow. Let's see if I can find another brush. It is a bit tricky. This is one actually that you could use a marker for. Let me just show you, because that light, hey. Because the detail is so tiny, instead of a stencil brush, you could use a marker for those. Let's have a go with the stencil brush for right now. Don't have any markers on hand right now, but I'm going to use a tiny brush and see if I can just, my yellow's getting a little bit mucky and dried out. I'm gonna offload that. All right. Sorry, it's saying the broadcast has been interrupted. I hope it's back now. All right, I'm just doing the tips of the little rockets. Fireworks is illegal here in Australia, so we don't get to do fireworks, but I have been to the States during the 4th of July, which is a lot of fun. Whoops, sorry guys, it's dropping a little bit. And oops, I'm missing a lot of your comments, so sorry. Scrolling. All right. So just have a play around with your colours. Just going to add a few little bits and pieces of yellow and maybe some Dabs of green. Let me go with that. So my green's only a tiny bit left in it. I'm actually going to just use the same brush as the yellow. This is colour called Pressed Fern. It's a nice dark green. Yeah, Adalia is saying there's so many ways to use these stencils. Absolutely. Yep, someone's seen all the mail getting ready to be sent via Essential Stencils for the Stencil of the Month Club and other orders going out. They're a busy bunch of people right now. Oops. Oh, I think I'm painting on the stencil and there's nothing. It wasn't a blank bit, if you know what I mean. All right, just getting the edges here, doing a little bit of the green. It's going to be a little bit mixed in with the gold, but that's okay. We're just going to go with it. All right, let's see how that turned out, hey? Make sure I put my lids on, put my brush in the plastic, save it drying out. Okay, undoing my tape here. That's not too bad. You could always go over in some Sharpie or some kind of a marker around the outside. But I'll show you what I'll do. I'll just go and grab my black Sharpie for those tyres. So we can see how that works. And then I'll grab my the USA sign. Remember, I didn't finish this. I was going to show you something with a blue. So I've got a blue marker here. I've got a black marker here. Going on Melissa's amazing live, was it yesterday, where she showed you how to stencil using markers. Thought, fabulous idea, especially for these areas where it's really tiny. So you place the stencil back exactly where it was. And I'm going to have to just remove some of this tape because this one is covering that bottom tire that we need to stencil over. Okay, so we've got the stencil in exactly the right spot, and I'm going to just do this a little bit closer to you so you can see. And we just go over that with the marker to create the tire. And it's just going over the red that I had already painted there, so I didn't have to tape all that up. I'm just going to tidy up my edges. I was holding it up a bit close to the camera so you could see. All right. Oh, there's another little line here. I'm not sure if I can get in there. My Sharpie is not, it's not a really thin one. So sometimes you might be better off with those ones with the flimsy tips. You know, they're like a brush style marker. And they may work just a little bit better for getting around those edges. So let's, oh gosh, I hope that works out okay. It's kind of looking a little bit sad, but maybe that's because I'm looking at the lines that are actually on the plastic, on the mylar, on the stencil. Well, we'll see how it goes. It's all a little bit of an experimentation sometimes, isn't it? Okay, there we go. And it looks like I did miss a little bit of a line there, but no worries, as we would say. Yeah, paint pen would work also, so you could try that. Sharpie, but not too sharp, someone says. Yeah, there you go. So there's the black tires. All right, so we've got that. And let me just finish off our beautiful, where is it? Using now. And now, and this is the one I was talking about. So there's this Sharpie here, but then there's this brush tipped one. It's got a little brush label on it. And so the tip is a little bit more like a paintbrush, so it's a little bit more flexible. So that might work better here. So I want to leave my stars that I did white, but I want to draw on those lines around here blue. So it kind of gives a little bit of an appearance like we've got a blue sky background in there. So it gives a bit of a red, white and blue effect. So let's see how that goes. Using my Sharpie marker and just drawing those lines in. It's a very bright blue. And all the links, guys, to any of the stencils that I'm using, these mini tags, and also don't forget these actual wooden tags, plenty available in the shop at Essential Stencil. And you can use my code for your 10% off. The code is iRestoreStuff. The links are all there. If you use any of those links, it'll take you straight there and it will give you your 10% off automatically. So I've just done the marker around those lines there just to add a little bit of blue to our red, white and blue. Elaine says, you do a good job working upside down. Thank you. It is a bit tricky sometimes when you're trying to read words. All right. Oops. Hopefully my painter's tape doesn't tear off any of my red paint there. Oh no, guys, let me show you what happened. Here's a great boo-boo to, we always want to show our mistakes. So what's happened is because I've used raw wood, look at that bleeding. Yay, disaster. So this is one of those times where I can show you my big mistakes because I didn't practice this earlier. And because it's on raw wood, the wood will really soak up the grain. So what I think would be better is if I had painted that and sealed it like this one, because I did those Sharpie tires, I did the tires in Sharpie, it was over the top of paint, so the paint will seal in the wood. So there you go. Learn from my mistakes. Watch what other people do. Learn from their mistakes and don't make them yourself. Yeah, or if you had stained the wood first, that would also seal the grain. But because the grain's not sealed, here's a great example of what will happen. It will all bleed through. So that's the Sharpie marker right there. And it just made it look really messy and untidy. But I'm not going to cry because it's just paint. I'll just sand it back, wipe it off. I can even use the other side and start again. But I won't do that for you here. But yeah, I'll show you. That is a really good example of what not to do right there, using Sharpie on wood. So the paint will seal it in. If you painted that surface first, then did the Sharpie, it should work out fine. Or as someone suggested, if you seal it with like a wipe-on poly sealer or something like that, that's what'll happen. So there you go. Glad I could show you, and so that you don't have to make the same mistake. And let me show you. So here's my idea. Now don't go anywhere because we're about to announce some prize winners to receive some Essential Stencil sets. I have to do that again so I can take a picture of it. Oh dear. All right, so there's our stars, our truck, and our USA flag, which is a little bit messed up, but that's okay. And I was going to show you on these vases, sort of a decor idea. So when you get your mini tag sets, they come with 3 tags in a whole pack. So there's the pack there, pack of 3. And the set is premium pine wood tags. These links to all of these are in the description of the live. There's plenty there, and there's a lot of these mini tag sets, all sorts of different sets. So you can use this idea for your table decor. Let me just pop you up a little bit so you can see. Okay, so here's our giant vase, and here's another one. This sun, the sun. Let me just point you down to them so you can see there. All right, I'm going to use my string to tie into what I might do is actually tie a knot in the top of the string. Yeah, someone said they're glad that they were watching because they would have done the same thing and got the same bleed. So learn from my mistake. Watch out for raw wood with your Sharpie markers. It might bleed. All right, so I'm going to use my my good one, the tag that worked. The stars, can't go wrong with that. Start with the stars, everybody. Okay, so what I've done is I've just had a knot in this end, poked the string through, and then you grab this other end of the knot and pull that through, and then you've got a nice loop to just hang your tag from, and that makes I wouldn't call this a knot, maybe it is, but it makes that hold right at the top so it doesn't sort of sway this way or that way. You know, sometimes that might happen if you've just got, you're not quite centered. And then I thought this would be a great idea to hang around the pot like so. So then you've got a nice table decor, and you can put your flowers, or say you've got, what are some of those decorations that you can have for 4th of July with like sparkly stars, you know, coming out of the top as a centerpiece for your table. So there's one, and then here's another. So I'll just use put that back here. I'll use my other one that worked. Here's my bad example. I'll use my good example. And I'll show you that again, one more time. And then I'll pick some winners. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm folding my rope string in half and tying a knot in the end. Just remember, imagine these on, say, for example, a wedding reception type thing where you've got table sit-down dinners, or at some kind of party, and you're trying to number the tables. So that's where I thought this number stencils would come in great. So they number 1 through 0 so that you can make 10 and onwards. And so imagine those on a wood tag for a centerpiece for a wedding decor, with this around the neck of a beautiful vase filled with flowers. So there's the idea that might work well. Joyce says, did you use frosted paint on the vase? No, I didn't even, I just bought it like this at our thrift store. So it came like that when it arrived at my house. I love thrifting. Anyone else love thrifting? Hands up. I just love going to those thrift stores, and they have all been closed during the pandemic. So they're only just starting to open up again now. And so I can't wait to go out again and do that. So here's the other vase. So these are really nice, huge vases. And so there's a great idea that you can do, and I'll take some nice photos of these once I've finished redoing my little flag that didn't work out so well. So go back and watch the replay if you wanted to know how that happened. But I'll do that again, sand it off and make it beautiful. Or I might even just do the other side, seal it, all that kind of thing. So there's your idea for some table decor. I hope you liked that. Let me just pick some winners, guys. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Would love to hear some of your ideas, actually, for what else you could use. What other mini tags could you do, and what event or that kind of thing could you use them for? Sorry, I've got to concentrate. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm concentrating on picking winners. Just going randomly through your comments. Yep, lots of people loving thrifting. Yes, it is a fun pastime. Okay, nearly got our winners. Oh, Facebook's being nice to me today. Usually I stop on a winner and try to write the name down, and then Facebook just scrolls the comments past and I have to run back and try and find that name again. All right, we've got 3 winners, guys, so get ready. And thank you so much for watching today, because you guys are always amazing. Let me just see if I can turn this around and point the camera up away from the sun. I'm gonna have to get out there. Oh. Okay, our winners today. Yep, it's chasing me. Here we go, back this way. Sorry, guys. Okay, our winners today are Deb Joron. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Jauron. Deb, you're a winner today. Kathy Shepherd, you're another winner today. And Ellen Purves Mitchell. Ellen Purves Mitchell. I hope I'm saying your name right, Ellen. So 3 lucky winners. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And if you missed it, here's what we made today. using our 4th of July, Aussie making 4th of July decorations just for you Americans. So I hope you enjoyed that, and don't forget to watch the replay to see how I made this boo boo and how I'm going to fix it. If you missed that, don't use Sharpie markers on raw wood. There's my clue right there. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. I'll see you again next week for another live. You can join me over on my page or Instagram using I Restore Stuff. Just look up I Restore Stuff in any of the social medias, YouTube, Pinterest, follow me there. Love to see you over there, and I will catch you next week. See ya.